What's going on, folks? How's everyone doing today? Double D. Jeff is in the house. My man, Brian 1000. How you fellas doing? Jared is in the house. What's up, Frack? How you doing, buddy? I trust that everybody's being safe in this heat wave. I like that, Frack. Just chilling. That's all you can. That's all you can hope to do in this heat wave, man. Mr. Bean, what's going on? Mario, what's happening, buddy? How are you doing, man? Rio's Mario's in the house. Judge is hot and humid, man, period. Daytime, nighttime, it does not make a difference. It's going to be hot and humid. It doesn't take much, man, to just break out in a mist. You don't even have to be doing anything too active. Tom is in the house. What's happening, Mr. Garvey? Great to see you, man. Thanks for stopping in. My man John is in the house. What's going on? Johnny is in the house. Texas style barbecue and cuisine. Frack, that's the truth, man. I'm really itching to do something, in the kitchen. Now that it's just about complete. We're still waiting on some furnishings. That's the only thing really missing, man. Trying to get a bar slash countertop built. So that is pretty much the main thing still outstanding, along with a sink. The space we have for a sink is so small that, man, it's got to be a specific size sink, and I haven't been able to find one. But until it cools down, man, I'm not going to do anything in there in terms of live streaming. I would love to live stream from there, but it's just way too hot. So that time will come, Frack, and you'll be the first guest, man. You'll be the first guest. Yeah, Mr. Bean. I did not go outside the house today, man. At least not very far from the house. Big D's Delaware Barbecues in the house. What's happening, buddy? Justin, what is going on, man? Chris is in the house. Great to see all you guys. Johnny says he's working tonight. Just finished up a pan-seared strip steak. That's what I'm talking about right there. Something quick, and whether you seared it outside or inside, it's not going to be too hot. So I like that. Oh, you sound like you're outside, Johnny, working on some beef tenderloin poppers, some fajita pinwheels in his outdoor kitchen. All right, you're putting up with that heat. I think the only way I could do that in the kitchen right now is to wait till about midnight. Let's see who else we got. Fat Boy Barbecue, what's happening, buddy? Great to see you this evening. Mama's a little depressed right now. She goes back to work tomorrow. All right, folks. Good evening to all of you fine folks out there. Hope you're having a wonderful week. Thank you once again for another episode with Mom and Papa Joe. I really don't have a topic, man, but I know I missed last week. And our goal from here on out is to do 3 times a month. And we'll probably take 1 week off whenever we feel like it. But thank you as usual, man, for hanging out with us. I don't know how many of you saw last night. We stopped in on the So Good or Smoking show. I had a really good time with those gentlemen. We had several of the contestants from the show that you saw Monday night, the Barbecue USA, and we had a good time just talking about what went on in the show. For those of you who watched it, man, it was it was probably as much fun watching as we had, uh, filming that show. While it wasn't the first time that I was fortunate enough to be filmed, by a major network, uh, I tell you, it's still intrusive, and that is a part of what that is. You know that they're going to be in your face. You know that they're going to ask you questions. You know that they're going to come at times when you're deep into some detail work. Uh, but it doesn't make it any easier in terms of peace of mind. When you're used to being quiet and doing your slicing or doing your wrapping or whatever the case might be, now you've got to think while you're working, formulate a cohesive answer. It kind of takes you out of your game a little bit. Uh, but I'm here to tell you, man, the group of folks that were filmed on the show Monday were an awesome group of folks. We've all hung out at cook-offs long before this barbecue at USA popped up, so we're pretty close, and we enjoy each other, and we had a large time. I'm here to tell you, Michael Simon. He comes across on TV as a very personable gentleman, very down to earth, and that is exactly who he was when we were off camera. He was easy to talk to. He joked. Uh, really, really nice guy. He's somebody I think you'd want to sit down and have a beer with, man. Any thoughts from what you saw on the show? Wow. Johnny, John is trying to knock out 4 videos today. And you know what? That is not a bad idea, Johnny. I hadn't given it any thought. But the fact that I'm going to be out there in 100-degree weather making a video, why not double up? If I'm working on the offset, I could be knocking out a second video on the Weber or on the Traeger or something along those lines. Uh, and I don't think it would be that much more physically demanding to knock out 2. Now 4 might be a little bit of a physical challenge, but two is definitely doable. What would really turn me off is all the food that we'd have in the house. Uh, I we enjoy feeding the neighbors, but we don't want to go crazy. We're gonna have to start putting them on our tax returns. NBL is in the house. What is happening, folks? What is happening, NBL? How are you doing? Glad you can stop in. Yes, sir, man. I'm sipping. I'm telling you, I'm sipping on a Miller Lite. When it's this type of hot, I really, really don't have much of a taste for hard liquor. So this is going this is going to be it for the show probably. But I'm sipping on a little bit of my rum, and my bottle is down to what we like to call a corner. So I think this weekend I'm going to be hitting the streets and picking up another bottle of this rum right here. But always on standby, man, is my cognac. So There's always something ready to go. Buzz is in the house. What's up, Buzz? What is going on? Buzz, I left you a message on one of your videos. I can't remember what video it was in the comments, and I still haven't heard back from you. Uh, hey, one of the things you got to do with those video comments is respond. Develop a little bit of a rapport with your fans. So go back, look at that, Buzz, and let me hear back from you. That is pretty cool, Johnny. You've got a pool. Mom and I used to have a hot tub, and that would not have helped in any way this time of the year. All right, let's see what we got in here before I fall way behind. All right, I see a lot of pleasantries being exchanged. All right, Buzz said that he missed it, but he will be watching. If you happen to have DirecTV, it's available on demand. If you don't have DirecTV, I know next week sometime, and I want to say it's a crazy mid-afternoon time, like 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. I'm not sure based on where you are in the country, but it's like mid-afternoon when it's airing again. But if you have DirecTV, it's definitely available on demand. I've heard from a couple of folks they watched it on a paid version of YouTube. All right, but man, it's a fun show. You got to really see, and one of the things I thought about when I received the confirmation that we were selected, I thought about how much I wanted to put out there in terms of competition techniques or secrets or whatever. And then I had to remind myself, hey, you're no longer a regular competition cook. It's time that you can free yourself up and put some of the good stuff out there. So uh, I saw a number of things that would normally only be seen in the paid class that Mom and I do, and man, it looked good doing it. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get a walk in one of the primary meat categories. But outside of that, folks, I was so thrilled with our little fajita call. And some of you have heard the story already. I made the mistake of telling my little group of fellas my fajita story way back in 2010 or 2011. Still a brand new competition cook. I remember going to a competition, and fajita was one of the ancillary categories, and I signed up for it. So on the way to the cook-off, I picked up all the stuff I needed to make a fajita: onions, bell peppers, a marinade, tortillas. I had toothpicks. And at the cook's meeting, I raised my hand to ask the question. I said, "Hey, is it okay when I slice up the fajitas?" Because they had mentioned how many pieces they wanted in the box. I said, "Is it okay when I slice up the fajitas if I put a toothpick in them to hold them closed?" And, everybody turned around and looked at me like I was like I was from another planet. And so my plan was to actually make fajitas and then slice them and try to hold them together with toothpicks. After everybody got their chuckles in, they told me that no, it's just fajita meat, and I was like, all right, too easy. Long story short, I got my fajitas marinated, man, came back and cooked the next day. We get to the award ceremony, uh, find out that there were 23 entrances, 23 entries in the fajita category. And they started with entry number one, first place, and they worked their way all the way down to 23rd. And needless to say, Papa Joe's fajita was 23rd. So it's been a running joke for the last couple of years. But I don't think they can Tom, CJ Bean. I don't think they can talk any more trash to me because my fajitas got to walk at Uvalde. So that was one of the highlights of that week. That's sweet, Buzz. I am definitely going to look into that. Yeah, I am definitely going to look into that. Tom, I'm one of those. I've had a couple of weeks where I've had multiple videos created and edited, but I'm one of those, man. I cannot wait to get them out there. So I can't hang on to them. I can't stockpile them. If I were to do 3 videos this week, I would be trying to schedule all 3 next week. So stockpiling them does not really help me in any way. When mom and I have been going on vacation, we try to get ahead of the game. Uh, but man, it doesn't always work for me. 3 steaks and poppers, not too bad. Oh yeah, Johnny. Finish the pan, poppers and pinwheels. Okay, reverse sear strip. You must have folks. You entertaining? All right, he's probably broken camp already. Take it easy, Johnny. Take it easy. There go Buzz again with his fake Asian self. Is that sizzling beef ribs? Wow. And some stuffed peppers. All right, that sounds pretty interesting, Buzz. I like that, man. Yeah, I like that. Take it easy, Johnny. Good night. There you go, Buzz. Holler back at me. Holler back at me, Buzz. Mama says filming was fun. However, you always had a mic attached to you. Every time you went to the bathroom or something, she asked the mic guy to disconnect me. Guess Mama didn't want anybody to hear her chunking a deuce. Bloop. Yeah. Mama did not want them to hear her chunking a deuce. I don't remember caring. When I had to go, I had to go. I forgot about the microphone. So they probably heard all kinds of stuff, especially the way these clowns I associate with talk. What's up, buddy? The Texas Barbecue Channel is in the house. What is going on? All right. He says it's also on HBO Max. Pretty cool. Frack, man, thank you so much. That chicken and the ribs, you know, and Frack, it's one of those things, and you know this. I think most of us out there know this, man. Most competitions, you're going to be turning in some pretty awesome food. Pretty delicious foods. Me, granted, they're not going to hit. They're not going to be top 10 every single cook-off, but I guarantee you it's going to be delicious. You get down to a 50th place chicken or 50th place ribs in a contest with 100 teams. I guarantee you those 50th place ribs are going to be delicious, man. They're going to be some of the best ribs that any of us have ever tasted. But there's only room for 10, or based on an event, there's only room for 15. So not everybody is going to make it to the stage. So thank you very much. We were very happy with them, man. Yeah, we were very happy with all our turn-ins. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw Mama dancing on stage. They didn't get the full version, her little fake crip walking. uh, Charlie Cruz is in the house. What's up, Charlie? How are you doing, buddy? Good to see you. My man Josh is in the house. What's up? Johnny Maggs. Howdy, partner. Johnny Maggs has been out there competing too. Yeah. you know, I know you. I know you know I'm not gonna let y'all forget that 14th place for Heaters bean. Charlie, thank you so much, man. And believe it or not, we've had those shirts sitting around a while, and to this day, I still don't know how we chose white shirts. I do not know how we chose white shirts. When you're out at a barbecue competition or when you're out at a you're yeah, you're doing an event. Man, sweating around the pits, white shirts. So, but it is what it is at this point, man. We appreciate you. Enjoy them. Dee Dee's in the house. Hey, lady, how are you doing this evening? Good to see you. Raul, what's going on, buddy? What's up, PJ? Was actually out in Oklahoma City, had some really good barbecue. Mom and I have been, we've stopped in Oklahoma City on the road. Matter of fact, we stayed there coming back from North Dakota last year, or it might have been the year before last. And we stopped at a famous steakhouse in Oklahoma City. Uh, Mama said it was the Cattleman Steakhouse, and we had a pretty good dinner there. But Raul, I am not the biggest barbecue fan in terms of going out there and buying barbecue. I am not. And maybe after the competition is totally out of my system, I can get back to enjoying barbecue the way I used to. But I think even with the videos and still cooking barbecue uh, frequently, and frequently I mean a little more than average, I still may not regain the taste the way I used to have a taste for it the way I used to have it. So we did not go out there and try anybody's barbecue. Been in Texas for I don't know since 1994, pretty much. I have yet to go to Franklin's. I've yet to eat at any of the barbecue restaurants right here in the barbecue capital of the world, Lockhart. Mom and I are 35, 40 minutes from Lockhart. We used to go there and compete every year. Still have not bothered to step into one of their barbecue restaurants. Uh, Now, one time I was invited to be a tour guide or a subject matter expert barbecue, and we took a group of commercial bigwigs on a bus tour of Lockhart. And so, yes, I did go into some restaurants then. Mama says, thanks, Charlie. Yes, if you stop in Oklahoma City for whatever reason and you're looking for a good steak, I think you'll get that at Cattleman Steakhouse. And I want to say in Oklahoma City we may have had Rocky Mountain oysters for the first time, Mom and I. Yeah, we enjoyed them. Yes, we did, Mr. Bean. It was a lot of fun. Raul, I've seen Heritage Barbecue on TV. Looks like a pretty solid place. But I'm telling you, man, a lot of these states are sending uh, or if they're not sending their folks here, their pit masters here to learn Texas barbecue, they are hiring consultants from Texas to go into places like California, to go into places like New York, and set up these restaurants, teach these guys how to recreate, authentic Texas barbecue. And I don't know how many barbecue videos you watch on YouTube. Man, you'll see Koreans, you'll see Germans, you'll see the Swedes, all with these offset pits, that that look like they were built here in the states and probably shipped. So it is, man. Barbecue is universal. Barbecue is so international. It is not funny. It is not funny, man. It's rather impressive. Buzz Buzz, I'm here to tell you, I would rather eat your barbecue than I would mine. And I'm that way with anybody. Even when we were at cook-offs, man, and it was time to taste, I didn't want to taste mine. Uh, well, I'm not going to even say I didn't want to taste anybody's. But whenever I tasted someone else's, it was always so different than mine that I was like, wow, that is pretty good. Meanwhile, I would taste mine and be like, this is what we always cook. Josh, yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about Snow's barbecue too, man. Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. And we know it's all about the pit masters. That is why, sometimes you go to a barbecue spot, man, and the food is spot on. And another time you might go back and uh, everything's a little off. Pitmaster might not have been there that week. So it's all about the pitmaster, man. And we can tell you, we can show you, but man, nobody does it the way you do it. So it's very hard that way. I know she's done an awesome job of bringing the entire staff up to speed. That way, there shouldn't be too huge a drop off for when Tootsie decide to call it. Frankie Floyd, what's happening, baby? How are you doing? Frankie says he lived in Dallas years ago and used to go to Trail Dust, and they were pretty good. Are they no longer there, Frankie? Raul, if I'm wrapping a brisket in competition, it's going to be in foil. If I'm wrapping a brisket here at the house, it's going to be in paper. I love a paper wrap. I love a paper wrap. And I don't know if you saw our brisket video a couple of weeks ago. Uh, I really, really, really started to like wetting down the paper, either with a little au jus or with a little beef tallow. I don't pour the beef tallow all over that brisket, but I like to wet down that paper, man. It folds easier. And I think the liquid kind of seals the paper a little more than it is when it's dry. But to each his own. To each his own. Buzz, I totally agree with you, man. Mom and I we really enjoy uh, our Asian food, man. You know, we'll hit. We've got a couple of Thai spots that we enjoy. We love a Japanese steakhouse, that hibachi style cook. So that is always a go-to. It will not be barbecue. I remember coming back from competitions weekend after weekend, man. We would stop at Subways. Yeah, we would stop at Subway, and that was always a good thing. Even when we had brisket, ribs, chicken in the cooler from competition, we would stop at Subway, and that would hit the spot. Wow, that's Frankie said he had a 64-ounce steak. I bet you ate that with no sides. No sides. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, that is pretty impressive. Raul asks, why do some cookers create that darker bark? Is it the airflow, the rub, not wrapping until it's dark enough? It's a combination of all of those, Raul. It's a combination of all that, man. Uh, you've got to you've got to have a pit that is not drafting so fast that everything gets sucked out of that stack, quickly. You want that smoke, that heat, and that smoke to just gently pass over. And as that smoke is passing over that meat, it is being attached to the moisture on top of it. That is why I tell people, man, a lot of your smoke ring occurs in the very, very beginning of your cook. That is why I always suggest that people wait until their rubs have set, have drawn some moisture from that piece of meat before they put it on the pit. It will really, really enhance your smoke ring. And then, in terms of smoke flavor uh, and that bark, you want that smoke sticking to that moisture. You want those smoke particles attaching themselves to the moisture on that piece of protein. That will create some color. But along with that smoke, then you're going to need something for that smoke to attach itself to form that bark. You know, is it that wet granular black pepper? That's going to catch the juices from that meat, man, mixed with the smoke, kind of crystallized, you know, creating that nice, crunchy, airy bark. So it's a combination of all of those. And again, I covered uh, when to wrap in quite a bit of details in our last brisket video. You know, I showed you how some areas were drier, other areas were wet. You weren't spritzing those wet areas. You were just monitoring. And then at the 9 hour mark, man, I showed you a perfectly dry, crusty, beautiful bark ready to wrap. I think the mistake a lot of people make with brisket, man, is wrapping too early. You know, wrapping too early. I wrap at color, and when I get my color that I want, I'm usually right there in that 170 range. You know, a lot of people don't understand that, and they want to wrap early. In that video, I talked about, you know, how a brisket is about 70 to 75% water, and you've got to get a lot of that water out before you wrap. Otherwise, that water is going to come out in your wrap. And all it's going to do is just wet down and destroy your bark. It will destroy your color. So make sure you're going to have to lose almost 20% of that moisture during that entire cook to finish that brisket. And most of that moisture loss comes before wrapping. So perfect time to wrap, folks. You've got that color and your brisket is nice and dry. Your bark is set. That's the perfect time to wrap. So don't be afraid, man, to take your brisket all the way to 180 to get to that point before you wrap. If you take it to 180 and then wrap, you're going to have a shorter time in the wrap, you know, based on where you want to go between 205 and 210. So you take your brisket to 180, wrap it, man, you're going to have you maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours, and that brisket is going to be coming off the pit. Yeah, Josh, heat definitely plays a role. Yeah, heat definitely plays a role. Thank you very much, Frankie. We appreciate that. Frankie, I'm here to tell you, man, smoked chicken is a thing, uh, but smoked chicken does not create the best skin texture. In my opinion, smoked chicken does not create a a nice chew with the skin. I mean, if you're going to remove the skin, that is fine. Here's what I will tell you we've done in the past when Mom and I have catered and the client wanted chicken, we would quick grill our chicken. We would get that skin nice and charred, man, get it to start rendering. Excuse me. And that chicken would be about a quarter of the way to halfway cooked on the grill. And then we would finish it in the smoker. That creates a nice edible skin along with that nice color, that char. It's going to be hard to get that stuff on a traditional smoker. Now, there might be different things that some people are referring to as smokers, but for me, when I'm cooking chicken for the masses, yes, I would definitely do it that way. But if you're talking about just straight smoking chicken, the skin does not always come out the way you want it. Now, if you're going to smoke it at 400 degrees, that's different. You're still there, you're cooking with high heat. But if you're talking about 225 or 250 or even 275, you're going to end up with that rubbery chicken skin. Raul said that yeah, I did say fat side versus fat down does not matter on the Traeger. And man, I would think Raul that different drums, all right, are going to be different when it comes to fat up or fat down. There's some drums out there without a heat baffle. There's some drum without a grease catch. And if you're cooking one of those, if you're cooking on one of those drums with all that fat dripping directly into the coals, then you're definitely going to want to be fat down. So yes, it does make a difference on a drum, in my opinion. I have cooked brisket on my drum, and I do fat up, but I've created a bit of a heat baffle, so I do fat up. But man, that'll be something you'd have to experiment with on your pit. Buzz says it's all about color and feel. Same with pork ribs. On the other hand, pork ribs are a little tricky. Yeah, pork ribs are their own animal. Buzz, if you try to bring any of your brisket tricks into a pork rib, it's asking for a little bit of disaster. But I'm telling you, you saw in last week's video of my calibrated pinky. Hey, figure out a way to determine your finish, rack of rib. You know, some people go by temperature. Man, I have never temped uh, for my benefit a rack of ribs. Now I've had some people during our class. They will say, what temperature did your ribs finish?" And I'll tempt it. I'll tempt it for them there. But ribs, I have gotten so used to depending on my pinky, man. I know when it's time to pull them out of the wrap and start my finishing process, because I just get a feel for how soft that meat is. How I can, with just a little bit of pressure, I can poke a hole in it. If I was to go from that point, if I was to go another 20 to 30 minutes, I am at mush city. I'm at fall off the bone. And for a lot of folks out there, they love that. But if my ribs are ever fall off the bone, and I didn't mention it at the start, that's what I wanted, I fell asleep somewhere. Yeah, absolutely. Charlie, man, cherry creates some awesome color on both pork and chicken. Applewood, I've got both. And applewood, I love the flavor, but I just don't see the color on any of the proteins I use it with. But cherry, I definitely do. Yeah, I definitely do. Not a problem, Frankie. Not a problem. Thank you, Arzel. What's going on, buddy? Great to see you this evening, man. Thank you. Oh yeah, Chris, high heat will chicken. It will definitely do it. A matter of fact, at some point, I'm gonna throw some chicken on the offset and put them on my top left shelf, because that top left shelf does approach 400. I want to see what they're gonna do over there. So yes, 400 is a great temperature for chicken. That's what I like when I'm using my Weber or the Expert Grill. Oh yeah, any lower than 300, Buzz, you're asking for that rubbery skin. Charlie Cruz says, "Fat up in that drum." That bend test works for a lot of folks as well, Charlie Cruz. that bend test. Finished rack of ribs, man, should bend nicely without breaking. If they break and want to fall out of your hands, then you've taken them just a hair too far. Granted, they're still going to be delicious. And granted, that's what some people want, fall off the bones. But I've had a couple of people comment that if my ribs aren't falling off the bones, they're tough. Man, I've just never seen that. Yeah, I have never seen that. Josh, that's my temperature right there, man. I don't want to cook any less than 350. And I'm just so used to a fairly short chicken cook that I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on the grill messing around with 275 with 300. Uh, I know how much coals, how much fuel it takes to get me to that 400, 425, and that's where I want to rock it. Yeah, that is where I want to rock it. Both on the Weber and the Expert Grill, I love that 400 to 425. Buzz pecan is all purpose. Yeah, I love pecan on any protein, man. All purpose. I love it. My man Keena is in the house. What's happening, buddy? Great to see you, brother. Arzel says applewood can darken your chicken if you're not careful. And that's also another thing with chicken. Chicken does not require a whole lot of smoke. It's such a delicate, can be kind of bland, that it will take on way too much smoke very quickly. So based on what you're cooking with, you don't want to put a whole lot of raw wood onto your coals, onto your bed of coals, and getting some good fresh smoke. Chicken will not do well in that, especially in competition. You'll get that gray haze over your chicken, and that will start to darken as your cook progresses. So good point, Arzel. Raul, I am in San Antonio. Yeah, we are in San Antonio. We're I don't know, you call this a little town right outside of San Antonio, but I call it San Antonio, Converse, Texas. There you go, Buzz. Looking good. Yeah, looking good. Yes, Chris, 50 to 60 minutes, man, at 400. And that is my timing on the Traeger. That's my timing on my Weber, on my Expert Grill. And this is a mistake a lot of people, a lot of new people make, man. You know, they get so stuck on that 165, 165. If you pull thighs and legs and wings at 165, while they might be cooked, that meat has still not released its elasticity, so to speak. You ever bite into a piece of chicken where the meat is tight? I mean, you're not getting any pink juices or anything. It's cooked, but the meat just has not broken down to the point where it's tender and soft. It does not present a good chew. That's because they did not finish letting those that chicken meat, jellify, so to speak, render, whatever little collagen there is in there hasn't really broken down yet. So you need to take chicken up to a much dark meat and wings up to a much higher temperature. You're going to see some competition cooks tell you that they'll take their chicken thighs and legs almost to 200 degrees. And that's quite a distance from 165. 165 is cooked. It's safe to eat. But if you're talking about something that's going to chew nicely, be tender, you're going to have to take it a little higher. Dark meat and wings. Breast, not so much higher than 165. Yeah. not so much higher than 165. Oh, Raul, I stopped. The mom and I stopped there. Uh, our dog troopers hospital is very near the meat market, the new meat market. So he had his 8 week checkup after surgery last week, and on the way we saw the meat market and we stopped there. It is a wonderful meat market, man. I hope they stick around. I hope they make it. They carry a lot of high end meats, high end. Uh, I told Mama, I said that the first time I ever run across some A5 Wagyu, regardless of price, I was going to buy it. Well, oh my goodness, folks, they had A5 ribeyes, they had A5 picanhas, they had Australian Wagyus. I mean, they had authentic A5 Japanese Wagyu, not American. Long story short, mom and I, mom and I enjoyed our first A5 steak. Uh, I started to do a short video, but it was hot, man. I just wanted to get it cooked. So I will be going back, picking up another one, and do a video just so you guys can see. And I'm here to tell you, it is cracked. It is all it is made to be. You know, you often hear that A5, the marble and the whatnot, how delicious, how silky, how smooth, how it melts in your mouth. Every last thing is true. Every last thing is true. It was such a wonderful cut, man. We enjoyed it. We want more of it. So I've got also got a picanha that we're gonna cook at some point. And it wasn't. I was getting ready to freeze the picanha because it comes in its own package, but it's not a vacuum sealed package. Uh, so as I pulled it out, I turn it over to look at the fat cap, and only then did I realize that the fat cap had been removed. So it kind of make you have to adjust how you want to cook it without that fat cap protecting it. But we're gonna get that done. But the next time we go, man, I am going to actually film some of their display cases. And I told the gentleman, that, I'll be coming back. And man, it'll be nice to be able to work something out with him. Get me a little discount as we're doing the Wagyus. They had some flanking ribs, man, some cross-cut ribs that were so marbled that it just blew my mind. But you can walk in there and come out $500 lighter very quickly. Yeah, very quickly. But Wagyu A5 is all it's cracked up to be. Every once in a while, man, you got to treat yourself. Stop cheating yourself. So if you get the chance, man, order a small piece. It doesn't have to be 5 pounds. It doesn't have to be. Order a half-inch cut of that ribeye, man, and take it home and enjoy it. Uh, you're going to want to. Yeah, you're going to want to. Oh, Buzz, we are just talking about chicken in general, man. Yeah, we are just talking about chicken in general. All right, I did not check out any of the marinated meats, and they put some goodies in the bag for me. I've got some sausage in the fridge from them. I've got some couple of different salsas. So, man, they're pretty cool people. Yeah, and I had to pull out my phone and show them a couple of Papa Joe's, Mom and Papa Joe's videos, so they enjoyed them. Trumpet is in the house. What's up, Trumpet? How you doing, buddy? How are you doing? Let's see. Frankie Floyd says he went to basic training in San Antonio. Pretty cool. I when I left the infantry way back in 80, in maybe 89, 90, I came to San Antonio for the first time for training in the medical field. Then I came back here after after attending drill sergeant school. and we pretty much built a house during that assignment, doing our drill sergeant assignment, and that was in '97. And here we are, still here. Yeah. Oh yeah, Charlie. Nothing worse than raw chicken, man. Yeah, I will tell you, in one of the biggest comps uh, that Mom and I ever cooked, we turned in our one and only raw chicken. Our one and only raw chicken. Uh, this was a Western Woods series. It was a series where they took three main quality events, and then they combined all your points to fight figure out who would be the winner at the end of the third event. And in that first event, man, we turned in a raw chicken and got DQ'd. The only thing that saved us at that first event, we had a first brisket, so that saved the day. Long story short, Mom and I went on to win that series, the Western Woods Series 3. Yeah, but there's nothing worse than turning in a raw chicken. And what makes it even worse is when you cut the piece of chicken that you didn't turn in, and you know it's clearly raw, uh, and then you have to sit there for a couple of hours waiting for awards, thinking about it. Yeah, so not a great feeling. Not a great feeling. Nah, you're the man, Raul. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Oh yeah, I'm going to definitely try to develop a relationship with those guys, man. And I know that those high-end meats are expensive, so I'm not going to be asking for freebies. But if I can get a nice discount, man, talk them up in a video or two, I would definitely love to do that. So, Mom and I are going to head back there and do a really, really good talk with them. Oh yeah, Buzz. That comp chicken, dark meat, man, almost to 200. Definitely. Al is in the house. What's happening, Al? How are you doing? Great to see you this evening. Charlie Cruz, man, I tell you, Mom and I have cooked plenty of wagyus, but always for competition. So they're always injected. They've always got the competition enhancement. And this was our first time doing one here at the house for us to enjoy. And you saw the simple seasoning, garlic, pepper. I mean, salt, pepper, garlic, and that was it. Yeah, that was it. We didn't do anything. No injections. Uh, we spritzed a couple of times, and man, one of the silkiest bites. The fat so render, uh, folks. And I don't know how much you guys pay attention. Any brisket video Mom and I do, uh, I spend. I want to show you some of the point cuts. I'm not going to ever be one of those that jump right to the middle and show you the center of that brisket, because to me that's kind of the easy part of a brisket to get right. That center. But if you can show your folks, man, that second, that third, that fourth slice from the point, from the flat end, from the lean end, and if that looks good, you only know that as you go further into that point, it's going to be awesome. And no, it absolutely was. I showed you slice number 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. So thank you very much, Charlie. I'll tell you, special occasion, guys and gals, don't hesitate, man. Splurge a little, treat yourself. Order a Snake River Farms order a Wagyu from Snake River Farms. Just Christmas or something, Thanksgiving, special occasion. It's not going to be something you're doing every other month. Uh, and man, you'll get a real taste of some quality meats. Well, man, awesome, man. 89, you enlisted. All right, I enlisted in 85. Brothers in arms. Brothers in arms. 4th Infantry. I was 1st Infantry back in the days. The Big Red One. 1st Infantry Division. Yes, man. I know my man Judge. I know my man Judge. Let's see. Yes, thank to all the veterans, man. We've got some awesome ladies and gentlemen out there right now, keeping us safe, uh, making what we do possible. You know, so thank you to all past, current, and future veterans. Yeah, Raul, that's something I often try to say, man. You know, because the minute you slice a brisket, it starts to degrade. So if you're able to, and man, I keep telling people if you don't have a vacuum sealer, you need to get one. That it's a great way to preserve brisket. Uh, and as long as that vacuum seal package is not compromised in the freezer, man, all you got to do is let it thaw, heat up a pot of water, turn that stove off, and drop that room temperature or that thawed package in there, and I guarantee it's going to come out absolutely as close to fresh off the pit as possible. If you saw the baked potato video, the loaded baked potato video, you saw what that brisket point looked like that I pulled out. That half of a brisket point that I pulled out. I mean, that looked like I had just unwrapped it after letting it rest and cut into it. All the juices were there. You know, if you slice a brisket, man, and toss it in the microwave or heat it up in the oven, you're gonna lose quite a bit of that quality. So vacuum seal, drop in hot water, great way to preserve briskets. And we've done that for whole briskets. You know, I will cook a brisket mama wants to take to Ohio or something on the airplane. I'll vacuum seal it, man, freeze it. And when mama gets there, whoever she's going to give it to, that's all they do. Heat up a large aluminum pan with water, drop that in there for a couple of 10, 15 minutes, serve. Good to go. That's a nice size brisket, Trumpet. Nice size. Raul, I've been a commissioner of the same league, man, since 1997. Since 1997. And until recently, until the last 3 years, we used to move draft day from house to house. So all of our owners would host draft day. And then as people started moving away, they still wanted to remain in the league. And 3 years ago, we had so many league members move out of the local area that trying to conduct a live draft at somebody's house would have been a little expensive, you know, with travel and everything else. So for this is going to be the 3rd year that we're doing the fantasy draft online. It's not quite as much fun, especially since you don't get to see your buddies, but it is what it is. The Broncos can't be much worse than they were last year. Let's hope Russell Whistle, Russell Wilson, Russell Wilson bounces back. That's awesome, Frankie. That 4-letter word, WORK, Whiskey Oscar Romeo Kilo. I don't mess with it, man, unless it's fun. Yeah. Thank you very much, Josh. Yeah, thank you very much. I will tell you, man, those are massive baked potatoes. I could barely finish the one. And the third one, I quickly gutted out, and there was enough to stuff that one from the first two, because you know once you add the veggies and the meats and everything else, the cheese, it really multiplies in terms of filling. But we gave one each to two different neighbors, and they enjoyed it. Yeah, they enjoyed them. They were huge. Mama did not want any baked potato. She had a sweet potato. So Mama's watching her carbs a little bit. So she did not want to eat any baked potato. She air fried a sweet potato. Raul, yeah, you definitely. I when I am vacuum sealing briskets, I make sure they're completely cool. Yeah, 140. You could probably do 140, but if I put my hand on that brisket and it still got some heat to it, I'm not going to put it in the fridge. But I think 140 is a pretty safe temperature. Arzel, great mind thinks alike, man. Great minds think alike. Oh yeah. Great way to save some money, man. Yeah. Chris, that would be too cool, man. I think I think we both get in trouble for hanging out too much. Yeah, I absolutely do. Yeah, I think we both get in trouble. Well, all right, folks, there we are, man. I've gotten to the bottom of the chat. We were right there at an hour, man. I didn't even think we'd go this long. I did not think we'd go this long. I'm actually going to do, I'm thinking I'm going to do another rib video. But man, I want to cook these ribs differently. This is going to be quite a bit of a different cook when it comes to spare ribs. So we'll see what I can come up with. But be on the lookout for another video on Tuesday as usual. Ladies and gentlemen, as usual, Mom and I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us, man. We absolutely appreciate your support. So if there's nothing left, we want you guys to finish up the work week tomorrow, man, and enjoy your weekend. If you have to be in that heat, make sure you stay hydrated. Hey, beer's always nice, but push some water, folks. Push some water. You guys take care of yourself. Have a good evening. Uncle Steve is in the house. What was that? What's happening? Yeah, Frankie, man, time flies when you're having fun. Yeah, time flies when you're having fun. Uncle Steve, I'm going to drop you a line, man. I've got something special coming for you. Yeah, I'm going to drop you a line. All right, folks, y'all take care, man. One love, baby. My man.